Hi guys, if there's someone on your Christmas list who you're really struggling to buy for because they have everything, why not try making them these reindeer nose truffles or dark milk and white chocolate truffles. They're really festive and cute and just a little bit sinister too. There's dark chocolate and coffee truffles, milk chocolate and hazelnut truffles, and finally Rudolph red, white chocolate and coconut truffles, with a white chocolate coating that I dyed red. To start off, you heat 200 milliliters of cream and about 2 tablespoons of coffee liqueur and add a teaspoon of coffee granules. Stir all that up and bring it to the boil. Then remove from the heat and immediately pour over 200 grams of dark chocolate. Mix that up well until all the chocolate melts and you've got a really smooth chocolate ganache. Then cover it and put it in the fridge for an hour or two or until it's just set but is still scoopable. Once that's set, scoop out little balls with a melon baller or a teaspoon and roll them together between the palms of your hands before putting them onto a sheet of parchment. And just keep going until you run out of the mixture. This might look like an awful lot of truffles, but believe me, I've seen the future and not all these little noses are going to make it. Some of them might get broken, some of them might just get eaten. Once you run out of that mixture, you then put these little fellas into the freezer so they'll really firm up. Once they're done, you melt another 200 grams of dark chocolate over simmering water with a tablespoon of oil until it's really nice and glossy like this. You then take each ball of frozen ganache and roll it in the melted chocolate mixture. Roll it around with a fork before you fish it out and let it set on the parchment. This will form a solid chocolate coating around the ganache. Now start all over again for the milk chocolate truffles with 200 milliliters of cream, and this time I'm using 2 tablespoons of Frangelico, which is hazelnut liqueur. Add a pinch of salt and bring it to the boil before you remove from the heat and pour over your 200 grams of milk chocolate. Mix it all in until you've got a lovely smooth ganache that's all combined.
No unmelted chocolate.
And then let it set in the fridge until it's firm. Then in the same way as before, you take a little ball of the set ganache, roll it between your palms and set it down on some parchment paper. And just like before, keep going until you run out of mixture. Again, this is going to look like an awful lot of truffles, but once you put on the coating at the end, some of them might break, some of them mightn't look the part, and you don't want to give those away as gifts, so you can just eat them yourself. When you're done, stick them in the freezer to firm up. So after a few hours in the freezer, melt another 200 grams of milk chocolate over a pan of simmering water until it's nice and runny. Then take your frozen ganache balls and roll the first one around in the melted chocolate to form the milk chocolate coating. Then remove back to the parchment to set. Then just repeat this for the rest of the truffles until they're all done and set them aside. For the white chocolate truffles, we're going to do things a little bit differently. You're going to first melt 200 grams of white chocolate over the pan of simmering water. We're not going to add any cream to this now because white chocolate has a lot of fat in it, and adding more cream will just mean that the ganache won't set properly. To that, we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of coconut rum. White chocolate and coconut are just a marriage made in heaven. They're so good together. And these truffles don't have any desiccated coconut in them, which is what I think puts a lot of people off the coconut flavour. Now remove the white chocolate and coconut mixture to the fridge or freezer to firm up. And same as before, take a little piece of the chocolate mixture, roll it between your palms and set it on some parchment. I let the white chocolate set a little bit too firm and it was a bit harder to shape than before, but it's going to be covered with a layer of chocolate coating anyway. Now keep going until the white chocolate is all gone and then remove your tray to the freezer to firm up. Now, just like the other truffles, over a pan of simmering water, you melt 200 grams of white chocolate. Now that the white chocolate has melted, we're going to dye it red to make the Rudolph nose coating, but because of the fat content in white chocolate, you're going to need to use fat-soluble food colouring. Normal food colouring won't work, it'll cause the chocolate to seize up and it'll be really gross. I'm just adding this drop by drop for the time being. It's still over very gently simmering hot water. And remember, we want to get this really intensely red, like Rudolph's nose. If you can't find fat or oil soluble food colouring, do not use the regular stuff. Just make white truffles, because this is actually not the first batch of these I made. The first batch I used regular gel food colouring. I thought that would do, and the truffles actually looked like this. Less like Rudolph's red nose, more like his malignant tumour, I think. Disgusting. You can't give these to anyone. Still tastes nice though. So go ahead and add more of the proper food colouring until you get a really, really red colour. You don't want pink, you don't want anything like that. This is Rudolph. Now, just like before, drop a little frozen ball of the white chocolate into the now red chocolate mixture to form a red coating. Lift it out and put it on a sheet of parchment. Then just keep repeating this until you've got a whole tray full of Rudolph noses. Don't worry about the little foot that's on the bottom of them. You can peel all that back with a knife when it's dry. So that's it. Thanks a million for watching. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the like button below, and find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. And for the full recipe, go to my blog www.rookiecook.org.